Here's everybody. Good morning. Brendan's going to go get a coffee with this one. I just made one. Piping hot. Awesome. Great. I'm a little nervous today. I both been looking forward to and not looking forward to this. I'm not ready. I'll never be ready. You can never be ready for a launch. So, gonna rip the band-aid off and just do it, huh? How's everyone doing? Sorry, I need caffeine. It's been a rough morning. I hope you've all had a good week. Good couple of weeks. I wasn't streaming last week. I had the Electronics and Manufacturing Week conventions in the city. It was pretty cool. Ended up only going for the one day for reasons, but wow, some amazing machinery at the Manufacturing Week. If only I had an unlimited budget and unlimited space, I could buy so many toys that I would never use. Thanks, Alan. Yes, all good. All good. Oh, Steve is here. Hello, Steve. SDG Electronics. Okay, the numbers are going up. Yay. There was like 10 people waiting for the stream to start. And I thought, oh, here we go. That's my interest level in, not my interest, the interest level in SQUiXL, clearly. Sorry. My mind has been going to very bad places. It always happens before a launch. Bear is here. Hello, Bear. Wow, it's been a while, Bear.
Alan
Chicken.
Madsen says, unlimited space. Buy a women's bag.
That's funny. I've not heard that before. That's quite funny. Yeah. Yeah, that's retardus, women's bag. Yeah, very good. Stewed chicken last week turned out very good. What about this week? What's happening this week with food? Now you're making me hungry. 6:30 in the morning, and now I'm thinking about stewed chicken. Oh. Let's go wait a little bit longer, a couple more minutes before I go through and say hi to everyone in the chat. Just let some more people join before I get into things. God, things are all over the place, literally, physically, electronically, and metaphorically. This week I shall eat it more. Not the same chicken stew. New chicken stew, right? It's not the old. It's not a week-old chicken stew. I hope not. Chicken not good after a week. Oh.
Alan
Okay.
Madsen says unlimited space content, but limited circumference. That's the definition of a women's bag.
Limited space, limited circumference. Okay. Johnny just found a bug in his Whopper firmware. No way. You trying to be a Sion? And you're having a chill. Andy Mouse is having a chill. It's squeaky chill. Very cool. I'm anything but chilled right now. Anything but. Had a bit of a disaster yesterday. a SQUIXL disaster that I almost had to pull the plug. Oh, AJ's here. Pew, pew, pew. Almost had to pull the plug of launch today, but I recovered. I'll go through it in a minute. It was a bit of a hairy one. Okay, I'm going to say hi to folks in chat. I've got a screen full now of people. That's my judgment, is if I have a screen full of people, I'll say hi. So Alan, good morning. Beata, hello. Dutch Taurus. Johnny Bergdahl, hello Johnny. Graham's here, good morning Graham. And Brennan, have you got your coffee? Brennan should be asleep. Go to sleep, Brennan. This is not that exciting. Rat Madness, hello. David Esser, hi. Steve, SGG Electronics, I think I already said hi, but hi again. Sid, hello Sid. Bear is here. X Micron, hi. Christopher, hello. And AJ. And I think that is everyone. Have I missed anyone? No, I think that's all. Toxic spider. What? Ooh, don't talk spiders. Let's not talk spiders. Oh, a bug. Right, I got it. A bug in the code. An ant. Right. Bit slow on the uptake this morning. So I had to rewrite the whole touch driver, my touch driver, yesterday. Because I discovered a bug in the driver I was using, which was a modified version of someone else's driver, that every time you reset the device, it was like 100% reproducible. So it wasn't like chance, but 50%. So one reboot, like let's say a first boot up, touch would work fine. Hit the reset button, touch wouldn't work, and it would just trigger all the time like someone was touching the screen. So nothing would work. Reset it again, touch would work. Reset it again, touch wouldn't work. The same thing would happen. It was driving me nuts, and I couldn't solve it inside that driver. And so from scratch, I had the data sheet open. I had three other, there was a MicroPython driver, and two, an Arduino driver, and some nonsensical STM32 driver that the manufacturer sent me. And between those three, I wrote a driver from scratch and got it working. But I lost about 6 hours on it yesterday, and it was, so it wasn't a reset time. It wasn't anything. The way it works is the driver it's a really weird. It's the GT911 touch driver. They've got a whole range of different driver ICs, and they're quite good when they initialize. So when you turn it on and initialize, what you need to put it go through a reset sequence, and then you have to read the configuration of all the registers, and then set a whole lot of things and write everything back. You have to do that on every boot. I'm not quite sure why, but if you don't do it, it doesn't work, and it's in the documentation. And there was just something wrong about the way the data was being written, or the ranges. I couldn't work it out. But when I did it from scratch, everything worked. But it was 6 hours yesterday of my prepare to launch time where I was, supposed to be working on examples and finishing the web page for it, like the product page, and working on the examples repository and stuff, that instead I was panicking writing code. But what I did discover from it, which is a real pain, and I haven't got to the bottom of it yet, is that some of my screens I've got here they all have the GT911, but some of them, the input is flipped. Like it's configurable in software, but you can't read the screen to say, hey, which orientation are you? So if I set up one configuration where I say that this is one of the screens that is flipped, that if I say this is 00 up here and that's 480, on some screens that'll work, and on some screens this will be 00, and that'll be 480 with exactly the same code. And it's 100% repeatable. And so I've got a whole bunch of more screens coming today or tomorrow, which is one of the reasons I delayed the launch and I didn't do it last week. Hey, Half Greek Geek, was because I'm now limited to how many screens I can ship, how many products I can ship starting today, because there are a bunch of screens I can't ship because they're reversed touch input. And I can't ship a device that works upside down that I then need the user to change the configuration to make it work correctly, right? That's just ridiculous. So I need to check all these new screens coming to find out what the deal is, put aside the ones that aren't right, and have a really good chat with the manufacturer to try to work out why some of these are back to front. And yeah, so like I mentioned a few weeks ago that I had some of the screens arrive DOA, and was this a little off topic? I probably just made my best latte ever. Oh, awesome! Had to wake up my wife. Anyway, hopefully my latte is not too bad. Maybe I'll get you to make me one next time. So yeah, there's actually 9 screens that arrived DOA, which is really frustrating. The 3 of them I only found later. The supplier's replacing 6 of them, and I've got a whole bunch more coming today. But yeah, it's just been really frustrating. But that whole driver thing was doing my head in, and I had noticed the issue before, but I hadn't worked out why it was happening. Like I went to demo it on last Wednesday at Electronex to someone, and touch wasn't working, and I couldn't work out why. I thought it was stuck in a loop or whatever. I just reset the device and it worked. But I didn't look into it anymore because I was at the show. All the screens are from the same manufacturer. They look identical on the outside, when you look at the screens. And I can't find anything about them that would make one work one way and one work the other way. And it could still be a driver issue on my side, but it's a complicated driver. Anyway. There are a lot of registers, and I'm sending them all because I don't know which ones have to be and don't have to be set. Yeah, I need confirmation back from them, but I need to check all the other screens first. And I don't know whether this is a bad lot of screens or something. The problem is with these screens, there are a few different brand screens on the market of 480 by 480 with the GT911, but they're different. They're from different manufacturers, and they all have slightly different specifications for the touch input. Now, I'm buying these from a manufacturer, right? Like they make the screens, these versions of the screens. But he said even they supply different versions of the screen. They have different screens have different glass on them, which has different size glass, different borders, but different characteristics of touch. But he said they shouldn't be reversed, like they should all be the same orientation, but they'll have different capacitance levels for touching and for stuff like that. So I need to get to the bottom of it. I'm really hoping I don't have to change suppliers, because if I change suppliers and there's a discrepancy with the screen and it doesn't fit the case, or the a good example is, let me show you. Sorry, I got my tummy right in the way. Just need to grab these 2 screens. Grab this one. Right. So here is an example of. Let me just go to. It might be easier if I do it here. Hello, SQUiXL. So here's an example of 2 screens. These are both 480 by 480, same driver. How am I going to... No, I have to do it this way. It's not going to fit under the camera. Sorry, not going to fit under the camera. 480 by 480, okay? And immediate look is they look the same, right? But if you do closer up, you'll see that the silver in the back is a slightly different shape. All right, this one here, sorry, this one here, is it's a different width and height. And if you look at the cables, they're actually, how am I going to get them the same? Right, the cables are actually slightly different. Maybe I'll look this way. Hang on. You might be able to see that the cables are, if I can straighten them, they're slightly different and they're at a slightly different horizontal position. They're still 40 pin. They still use the same chip. The glass looks like, if I put them on top of each other, the glass looks like it's in the same position, right? But the silver area, the LED light backing and stuff is in a different spot. So one screen fits in my case and the other one doesn't. One screen, if I put it on my PCB, it's offset and it won't fit in the case. So that's the problem I've got. I can't just switch to a different manufacturer, right? Because I might end up with a screen that isn't compatible. And then I'll have to have two versions of the case, two versions of the screen. I'll have to re-spin the PCB for a different one. So yay for consistency on screens. Anyway. Good morning, Amanda. How you doing? Nice to see you here. So anyway, frustrating. It's been a frustrating couple of days. I need to get to the bottom of the screens, but I can't until they arrive. I need to get to the bottom of what's happening with the touch. I'm hoping that the screens that are coming, like he said, they're all the same, right? So he hasn't sent me a mix of different glass versions. He knows which ones he sent me. He's been sending me the same ones, and he's been very responsive, and very, you know, when I have a problem, very willing to help. But it's still it's a frustrating situation for me to find myself in the day before launch. Okay. So where are we at? Well, am I just going to like push stuff live and then talk about everything? Or am I going to talk about stuff and then push it live? I do, and you'll see in a moment when I push it live. I've mentioned already before, the SQUiXL itself, SQUiXL with a USB-C adapter, magnetic adapter, right? So it's USB-C. Oh my God, throw it sound, which goes on the back, right? Magnetic adapter at the back. That is $99. And then I have dock, which is separate, which is, I'll explain in a moment. Yeah, it's $29. It's actually $25, but I have to pad it with the extra shipping. So $29 for a dock. So the dock is obviously, help if I don't put it upside down. That's the wrong dock. Not that one. And yeah, that's the dock, which lets you go that way. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Put these away. Could you make your case be able to fit both? And then the PC is a... the case can't fit both, no. The case and the fit and the position and everything is 100% fixed to this screen. Yeah, no, there's no to both. Not without a PCB respin and a completely different case design, which is something I'm just not interested in doing right now. So maybe down the line, if I make a new revision of the PCB or something, but right now everything's working great, and I just don't really see a need to do that. So like that's not what I want. Like I've got the repo with a whole lot of example stuff together. I've still got empty readmes everywhere, which I haven't had a chance. Like some of them I've been writing in, but I was sitting here this morning trying to fill in all the readme stuff for the repo, but I guess I'm just not going to get to do that before I launch. Maybe I should just push it. Should I just push it? I'm just going to push. I'm going to push the example repro because then I can go through and show you what I've done. And I've done some cool things. The start of some cool things. Start off. Does that
Rip
make
the
sense?
Almighty says I use chat to fill in the readme.
Right, but he doesn't know what to put in there yet. I need to be able to point it at a repo and then say, fill it in. And I'm just going to push it. Like the shipping firmware that's in here, the README is to do add info. Like no one wants to try to use this firmware. Like it's not even documented the firmware yet. Like everything is such a rough work in progress. Totally rough work in progress. Git commit -m initial examples and MicroPython firmware. How do I spell things correctly? Initial examples and MicroPython firmware. Git push. Okay, well that's up. Maybe. Oh, the remote end hung up unexpectedly. What is this? Send packet, unexpected disconnect while reading sideband packet. Has anyone ever seen this before? Pretty much what the unfinished example code. I really tried, like I really wanted not launch this thing unless there was at least some examples. Has anyone ever seen this before? No. I wonder if. Let me do it in a terminal window instead. I wonder if there is a. Oh my god! How many terminal windows have I got open? I should have cleaned that up. Okay, I'm just closing some. Except I need to easily get to the folder. Git status. Git push. No, it's not letting me send it. The requested URL returned error 400. Maybe I need to do it clean. Git clean? What is refusing to clean? I don't even know what the different ones are. When you're pushing large binary payload to, but there isn't really anything large. It shouldn't be putting any of. Right, none of that should be in there. Oh, shit. Okay, that shouldn't be there. Uh-oh. That's why. Except, how do I How do I remove something that I just added? Oh no. Raw should not
Alan
have
Madsen
been
says
there.
you need to put more space on GitHub lol.
Yeah, haha. Oh, that is shit. Once I've done a commit, how do I uncommit? How do I restage? Anyone know that? Soft reset. How do I, so if I just do git reset, will that kill everything in the folder? If I reset it, it's going to put it back to this, isn't it? Empty. I better back up the folder. I'm backing it up just in case. Left icon, second down. This, no, I don't use, I use command line. If I just do a reset, git reset, soft head. Really? Dash dash soft. Right, so now I can do a remove. Right, it's all the raw. Oh. And does the commit but leaves the working files. Okay, thank you, Bear. Oh my god. So I like to do a git. Is it restore? Restore dot, I think. No. Oh, that just got rid of my. Did that just get rid of my? It did. Okay, restore was not the thing I wanted. Raw. How do I unstage them? It's really only the hey Matt, we're having some git fun. Sion did something silly. See what happens when I do things live. How do I unstage? Git unstage files. Yeah, this says git restore. Oh, if I do a staged, if I do that, I've got to back up. I have to specify the files. So I have to specify the files. Can you wildcard it? Can I go shipping / platform IO / raw? No. Oh, that didn't work though. Or do I have to do the slash? Yeah, that's not working. It's still leaving them there. Oh, Sion. So what happened was I had all this set up a couple of days ago, and then I was at home and I accidentally did a whole bunch of modifications in an old repo, not in this one. And so then I had these two versions, and the easiest thing to do was to grab that and stomp this one with that. And in doing so, I forgot to update the git.ignore. Sorry, Brennan. Yeah, I'm not a Git user. Can you tell? Okay, can I do it from here? No. I want to okay, no, okay. I'm not gonna do it from there. Um Oh, wait, did I do it? Mm, mm, mm. Right, raw. I don't need the slash. Yeah, I don't know why I did a dot. Sorry, because they're all hidden. That's not a hidden file. That's still not graying it out. Or does it need the slash? No, that this git ignore is in the root of platform.io. And so raw is a folder inside that structure. Hey, Mike. I used to use GUIs and I stopped. I've tried to teach myself to use the command line. Um, right, but the PIO and VS Code don't have slashes, right? They're hidden, but they're directories and they are working. You can see here. Um, Either way, though, I've already committed them. They're already staged. I need to unstage them without having to do them one at a time. See, there aren't many. Um, it's a folder called raw, right? But that's a folder called PIO. That's a folder called VS Code. They don't have slashes on them. I mean, I can put a slash there, but I don't think that's the issue. Oops. My God, which slash am I needing? Slash. It's not making any difference to not to the way Visual Code's showing it. Do the soft reset again. Folks, sorry, just stick with. I'm sorry, I'm doing it this way. I'm not getting a GUI. I'm not doing it. I can't do it on the web, GitHub on the web because it's not on the web yet. Just do a git reset. Sorry, folks. Right, okay. So that unstages. So now, okay, now it's showing up grey. Okay, thank you. Thanks, XL. Okay, I've never had to go do that before. So if I do a git add now, there should be no raw stuff. That's better. Okay, so now I can do a git commit. Glad I'm doing this live. Initial examples and MicroPython firmware. Examples and MicroPython firmware. Git push. Still doing the hang up. It's still doing it. There's nothing, there's no large binaries or anything now. It's all just code. Except for the MicroPython bins, but I don't think it's that. It shouldn't be. My biggest file is like, well, the whole thing is only 4 megabytes. I've done way bigger repos than 4 megabytes before. Way bigger. Maybe I should have done a clean first. Writing objects, it did the whole lot. It did write them all. Requested URL returned error 400. This is before it's even sending it. It's before it's writing the objects. How do I list remotes? God. Git list remotes. We should move on to something else. Right, there we go. I expect to make a SQUiXL get push. It might be, but I've got bigger repos, way bigger than this. I wouldn't even know where my git global config is, guys and girls. Okay, we should move on. I'll get this up there. It's in my home dir. Is it? Git conf. Oh, wrong. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Shit. Git config. Open with. Oh, come on. I can't see anything about a buffer. Core, push, smart git, submodule. You'll see it. So, don't know what to do with that. How do I increase git buffer? Okay. Apparently I can type this, give it a big buffer. Yay. I think I got it. Whew. Okay. Oh my God. I'm sorry, everyone. I really am. How many people did I lose? I think I lost 15 people through all that. 15 people watching. Yay. Okay. So, yay. I have a repo that has. I just made that bigger and it went smaller again. So in the examples folder, I've got empty readmes. I've got a platform IO little VGL example, SQUiXL. I've got, I'll show you these later. I've got 3 Arduino examples so far. There's an example that uses audio. So remember, or I say remember, but for those that aren't aware, the SQUiXL has a micro SD card and it has an I2S amplifier, but they share the same IO through an IO mux. So you can't use them both at the same time. So the audio example shows you how to set the amplifier as the thing that's being used. And then it does, you touch the screen and it makes some sound and it says hello when it boots. I've got a photo viewer example that shows you how to use the SD card that will load images off an SD card and just cycle them on the screen. Like every 15 seconds, it'll change what the image is. It'll grab them all at the start. And then I did a new one full of stars last night. So cool. Let me show it to you. It's a nothing one. I'm just gonna turn it on. But this is the type of stuff I used to do as a kid on my Commodore 64 and on the BBCs at school. So, oops. It's just a star field, like you're flying in Starfield, but if you touch it, it goes into hyperspace. Whoa! And then it slows down. How cool is that? It's like a nothing demo, nothing example, but it just shows you how to do. It's just doing stuff on the screen that's different to, other, UI or whatever. So, thanks, Bear. It's pretty cool. So
Aaron Madsen says 52 is looking right now.
I see different numbers on my dashboard, but that's okay. That's cool. So that's the Full of Stars one. And so I'm just going to quickly open it. Oh, you can't see. Wait, hang on. Just go that one. No. Whatever, we'll do this one. So most of this code is just the Starfield stuff. Anyway, oh, look at that. I've got issues with spacing and I'll have to go through and fix all this. Everything should be spaces. Needs the Windows Flowerbox screensaver too. Well, yeah, flying toasters it needs. I'm happy for someone else to contribute those. So anyway, they're the Arduino, and then with MicroPython, so I've got the MicroPython firmware. Let's go to the firmware folder. There's MicroPython firmware in here with instructions on how to flash it. So I'm hosting the MicroPython firmware for the time being until I can get a PR done, because it's quite... Release a blue smoke demo. Yeah, no thank you. No thanks. Yeah. So you grab it from here, and then with the MicroPython examples, there's a lot of work that needs to be done here. But for now, like the README is empty. But I've got a SQUIXL library that it's still a work in progress. A UI library. There's a basic example. There's a UI example. That's the haptics driver. I need to fill all the README stuff in. I'll update it today. But I've got battery, haptics, touch going, the UI library, some other stuff. Anyway, it's a good starting point for MicroPython, and I'll keep working on that. I'll keep working on all of it over time. And then there's the shipping stuff, which is what you're seeing on the screen right now. Okay, so that's live, which means it's now time to push. It's time to push the product page live, except I have not added the GitHub link. That's what I was waiting for. So, no. That let me quickly, you can't look at this page, so this is my back-end e-commerce stuff. Where did I mention GitHub? I'm trying to find where I mentioned GitHub. Official. Okay, you can find the... Actually, no, I won't even do that. I'll just put official SQUiXL examples repo. That will be a link. And it'll be bigger. Save. Okay, we're going to go live. Show on storefront, and I am putting this live. I think. I hope. And now I can give you the URL. Let's make sure the URL works. Well, it should be on here now. On the no? Oh, there it is. That took a moment.
SQUiXL says yay release party.
Yay, release party! SQUiXL sold out. No, that's not right. There we go. 10 available. I'm just putting 10 with a, so that's the URL. Wow, wasn't that a pain? Thanks, Mike, but I gave a direct URL for it. I said to let that go in. Either way, you can get it from the, it's not on the main page right now. I need to add that manually on here, and I will later after the stream, but it's here. So once the 10 are gone, it'll go into pre-order, but obviously I've got more coming. I'm just waiting on screens, which will be, as I said, today or tomorrow. Did that URL go? Right, there's the, does that open the right spot? It does. Good, 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 good. Oh, what? Already? Thanks, Chris. That was you. I've still got some more stuff to add to the page. I will over again. Oh. Thanks, guys. Yeah. It is already on the front page. No, it's on the front page of the shop. If you click on shop, it's on the front page. But if you just go to home, this is not the shop. This is just my web page, right? And it's not on the front here. But it gets included on the shop. Right, yes, I need to work, yeah. So I need to add a pin out. I've already started working on that. So there'll be a pin out on here. I'll also add the pin out to GitHub. Wow, my email is going nuts, which is a good sign. Maybe. Thank you all so far. I've grabbed one. Okay, and this is just going to update. So it says no, not available. Now it's 5. Okay. Wicked. That went quick. I've got more coming. Don't worry. If it gets to pre-order stage, I mentioned here that it's limited at the start. I'm just waiting on screens. I've got plenty of boards. You might be able to see behind me. Like I've got, like these are all with screens ready to go in cases. I'm not putting them in cases yet because I don't know what case colors people are ordering. So cases are ready to go. I've got, oh, bing. I wish I could turn everything off. All my pinging off. So I got a whole bunch of cases here in different colors. And then I've got boards that are ready to go but just don't have screens yet, but they're tested. They've all been tested with screens, and I've got more over here as well. There's more. They kind of spread out everywhere. So, okay. My email's going crazy. 3 available. Okay. Didn't last long. Now, I want to show you something cool that I did. So check this out. This took 4 days of my life. You ready? I got to 4 days of my life, and I'm both extremely proud of it, but I'm also extremely frustrated with it because I didn't get to do what I wanted to do with it yet. Also, yes, the keyboard is coming, the demo. Can I just say to everyone, what I'm going to be shipping, can you give a 20-second overview of SQUIXL? Is it not on the page? Product page? Okay, hang on. Before I do, just wait. Just keep in mind, everyone, the shipping firmware that I'm sending it out with, it's just a demo, right? It's just a demo. It's not going to do anything other than it's just a demo, right? What I wanted to show you is, so, you know, I've been working on UI and stuff. So I've got a text box. I posted about this already, but no one's actually really seen it running except for a few people on my supporters channel. But if you click on a text box, a keyboard comes up with a flashing cursor. And you can touch, you can't drag, but you can touch anywhere to set the cursor. And you've got a keyboard that has uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols. Holy shit. So I can go in here and I can delete, put a space, go to symbols, stick a $, space. Oops, I gotta. Hello. Full keyboard. Full keyboard. Return doesn't do anything right now. And when you click off, it just resets it right now because I don't want this to do anything. This is as far as I got. So my aim for the keyboard was, I'll just click off it right now. Right, I'm deliberately not updating it, right? The aim with the keyboard was, at the moment, totally missing. Yeah, it's not missing those, Johnny. You can add them. If you want to do an extended character set keyboard, feel free and do a PR. But this is as far as I wanted to take it. I have a fear. Okay. I'm about to be out. There's one left. One SQUIXL left. Thank you, everyone that's grabbed one. Thank you. So when you first get API key leaked, I'm gonna delete it. It's fine. I've got a few of them. It's just my open where the API key. Yeah, I'll just delete it. So when you get a SQUIXL,
HMS says, was we only supposed to order one? Ops.
well, you're limited to 2. That's fine, and there is a slight discount if you do 2, which you would have seen. It's not much, but it's something. Oh, I'm going to show you the packaging. Or you can type in the keyboard row of letters. Well, at the moment there isn't one. It'll go off the edges. It's a lot of work still to do, right? And remember, this is just a demo. Well, here's the thing. This is what I wanted to do with it, though. So when you first get your SQUIXL, it will boot. Let me see if I can just show you. Turn this one on. Oh, interesting. This is one of the examples. I'm not sure if you heard that. Let me just restart it. Oh, I wonder if that's running the old touch code. This might show you that bug. Hang on. Yeah. You hear that? This is the old touch driver. That's the touch being triggered. That was the bug I had. And if I reset it, so this has been fixed, right? This is the audio example for Arduino, or an early version of it. So it shows you how to use audio with touch and line drawing. Anyway, but that's not what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you was, I've got so many different SQUIXLs here. They all have to be flashed with the final firmware, or the shipping firmware, before they go out. What's this got on it? Same. Oh no. Did I not have one that's got... Okay, the point is, when you get it, there's no Wi-Fi setup. It automatically loads a Wi-Fi manager. So you go to your phone and you can set Wi-Fi up, right? But my plan is, I don't know if I'll get to do it before I ship out these first units, but my plan was that when it's in Wi-Fi manager mode, you do it on screen. You select your SSID from the Wi-Fi networks it finds, you click on it, and then it prompts you for your password, and you type your password in. Like, that's a much nicer experience than grabbing your phone to do it. But I haven't got there yet. I only just got the keyboard working, and then I started working on some Arduino examples, thinking I'd get back to this, the keyboard, and then had the disaster with the touch. Anyway, yeah. So who was it? Someone asked for a brief overview. Who was that? Half Greek Geek, 22nd. You mean an overview of SQUIXL, right? Started streaming 6 in the morning. How am I even functional? I always stream at this time in the morning, and who says I'm functional? So SQUIXL is, let me just, okay, I'll go back to here. Emoji keyboard coming. Yeah, good luck. You need Unicode for that. You need to pressure Larry to add Unicode support. I'm not going to pressure him. So SQUIXL is a portable touch screen device. I'm out now. Sorry, Dave. For those of you in the EU, although it's probably too late now, I will, once I've got my second batch ready, maybe my third batch, I don't know, I will launch it on Electrons, where you can get it and have all the duty and VAT taken care of for you. But I can't split my launch over different websites right now because I can't manage stock that way. So SQUIXL is a portable touchscreen device that's got a magnetic connector on the back for charging and flashing. Although I started adding OTA support, haven't got that work finished yet. So many things I haven't got finished yet, whatever, for the official firmware anyway. But it's basically a 480 by 480 touchscreen device that's got a whole bunch of peripherals inside. So there is I2S audio with a speaker, as you heard, like you can make it talk and stuff. It's got haptics with a motor, so you get bzzz on it. It's got a external RTC clock for timekeeping, so when it goes into deep sleep or whatever, it keeps the time. And then can also do alarms and stuff, although I haven't got that integrated yet, but we'll be able to do. Hey mate Techie, how you doing? Thank you. It's got the SD card slot, an external I2C port on the side if you want to connect something else to it. What other hardware's it got in there? I can't even remember now. It's on the website. It's on the website. It's got, well, the IO expander you can't use. It uses the IO expander and the mux. Hectic driver, right. It's got a battery fuel gauge for the battery, right, to be able to get, whatever. And it ships with a battery. So these are the first units are going to be shipping with a battery. I hope there's no issue. For all the people that have bought one right now, when I ship them out, I hope, I've been assured by Australia Post, shipping with a battery now is fine, as long as the device is off and it's only a single cell battery under a certain size, which I tick all the boxes. So unless I do a declare it wrong or something, hopefully there'll be no problem. So you're missing the kitchen sink. Now, well, there were a couple of things that I could have added, but I think it would have added cost and complexity. Like it would have been nice to have an IMU on here, and I've got room for an IMU, but I have no spare I/O for a second I2C bus. So right now, there's a lot of things on the bus. There's the touch controller, which needs to poll quite fast, right? There's the fuel gauge, there's the haptics engine, and then the driver, and there's the RTC, okay? So you got 4 things on that bus already, plus there's an external port. I didn't want to put so many devices on there that all of a sudden you couldn't run them all at the same time, and you had to then turn on and off devices and stuff like that. So an IMU might have been nice. So it's not quite the kitchen sink, but it's close. So it's a development platform, just to be clear, right? It's not going to be shipping with an operating system that you'll be able to use as a commercial, like, device. Like, not a phone or a tablet replacement. Like, you can't get apps for it and stuff, right? But it is, the idea is that I want to have enough example projects for it and other things for it that makes it easy for people to develop whatever they want for it. Meanwhile, I'll keep fleshing out the shipping firmware with more features. Like it's a much more advanced set of code, right? The code complexity and the shipping firmware is much broader than the basic examples I'm shipping for, Arduino and MicroPython. But it's where I get to play with really cool stuff, like adding a keyboard, so that's going to evolve over time. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, ask me questions. I don't even know how to really pitch it. If there's any questions you've got, ask. Let me know. So it's gone to pre-order state. Yeah, it's gone to pre-order state. Just if you want to pre-order, just understand you're not waiting weeks. Like the screens might arrive today. If they arrive today, I'll add more stock. There still might only be another 10 units. I've got a limited number of PCBs. I haven't done a second PCB run yet, because I wanted to get the rest of the screens, because I had 8 bad screens out of my first 20. That was pretty bad. He claims it was just the way they packed them when they shipped them. He apologized. He's, replacing them. I got more screens coming. If all the screens come and they all work fine, like right now my confidence level is 50% on what's going to happen with these new screens. So I don't want to suddenly say I've got 50 SQUIXLs available when I don't have the screens for them. But if these screens arrive and there are no issues, like he promises there'll be no issues with these screens, my confidence level is going to go back up to maybe 75 or 80%, and I'll order more screens and I'll do another production run. But I wasn't prepared to order more than another 20 odd screens to see if...
Cian, Chad has disconnected.
Okay. To see if this issue goes away, right? I didn't want to double down before he could ship me a set of screens that had no issues. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I would love to know what color screens people ordered. I really want to know. Because I'm going to have to start printing, and they take ages to print. Oh, someone did pre-order. Cool. That's gonna, okay, I'll have to turn pre-ordering off at some point. Um, okay, we got black, blue. Someone did a surprise me. Yes, we've got a grey. We've got a black. We've got an orange. Ah, Paulus, excellent. I emailed him this morning. A pink. We have a pink. 2 pinks. Lucky I printed 2 pinks. We have another black and black. Lots of black. Okay. No one chose white. Interesting. The white's quite nice. Oh, was that you, Bear? Okay. So yeah, I've got the surprise me, which I'll pick a color. I'll pick a color and ship it. Okay, I'm gonna have to start printing lots of black ones. So so no one chose red and no one chose white. Interesting. White will turn black in. Yeah, I know. Although they're matte and they're like it's the white's actually quite nice. Hang on. Anyway, it's fine. People can choose what they want. Now, I didn't show you. Oh, that's right. I forgot that you were colorblind. Okay, so I might send you I might send you a color that isn't one that I offer. I've got a few other colors that I've done. So this is cool. I wasted 2.5 days on this. Ready? So this is the packaging for the SQUIXL. This is how, like, a SQUIXL will come like this. When you open it up, this does not have a SQUIXL in it, obviously. Let me get a SQUIXL. So there's a black one. So inside the box is a, do that with a SQUIXL, and you foam out, and then you got a SQUIXL in here with, oh god, the lighting. There's a USB adapter on the side and a SQUIXL sitting in there, yeah, which comes all nice and protected, lots of foam in a nice little box. But if you order with the dock, check this out. So this has a dock inside, and because I'm doing these, I'm literally going to be printing these for the time being ad hoc as people order. I don't have any boxes pre-packaged, but so SQUIXL will come inside like that with the dock. And the dock comes in 2 parts. All nice and neat like that. I spent 2 days designing and laser cutting and doing all this packaging. I have blown my profit budget on packaging by about 100 times. Hey Paul, you're here. You pre-ordered for your upcoming birthday. You bought yourself a birthday present. Nice. Nice. So yeah, I'm really happy with the packaging, but I went overboard. Way overboard. For no real apparent reason, because people are going to get the boxes and the foam and then they're going to chuck them. Anyway, wow, okay. I'm trying to think, what else have I got to show and talk about? I'm at a loss. This has been a really stressful lead up. Yeah. Wish I knew exactly what date the screens were coming. I got a message from the courier, like they've got them, like they're in their hands. It'll be delivered at some day. Not sure us Gen Xers will We keep tech packaging for some reason. Yeah, I do as well, but yeah, I don't know if maybe. So I'm curious to know, like I've got more example projects I'm going to put together for Arduino, and obviously, as I said, a lot more stuff I need to do for MicroPython. CircuitPython may come. Any of you that use CircuitPython that want to have a crack at creating a board definition for it, their RGB peripheral driver setup is a bit different to what I require for this. That'll be interesting. Some important things. Wait, some important things I haven't put in GitHub yet. I haven't had a chance to put in GitHub yet. So with the Arduino stuff, I have shipped. I've had my PR for SQUIXL as a board definition in Arduino. That's been merged into master, but I don't know when they're doing their next release. Got a PR accepted for CircuitPython today. Cool. It's not hard to get PRs accepted to CircuitPython. They're pretty awesome to work with. Getting PRs accepted to MicroPython, a little bit harder. Have I spoken about my new secret project thingo yet? No, I haven't. If I think you're talking about what you're talking about, no, and it's 100% not public. Frank! Hello, Frank. Wow. Haven't seen you for ages. I hope you are well. That's a nice. Yeah, no, that's totally not public. 100%. Please do not share. And sorry about that, folks. That for those that aren't aware what we're talking about, I've got something that I've been working on, and it can't be public knowledge yet. There's a lot of things that have to fall into place with other people first. So I apologize, but yeah, no hints, no, not happening. It can't happen yet. Sorry. Yeah, shouldn't have been brought up at all, Magicy, but that's okay. Unexpected coffee machine. Ooh, that'd be good. Oh, Ray. Hello, Ray. No, not missed it. Not missed it. But no, it's still it's weeks or even a month away still. It's it requires other people, other things, other systems to be in place first before. Hello, Kevin. How you doing? Right. So right now, if you want to use Arduino, so in Platform.io it's fine because in the Platform.io project I'll show you, it's set up to, oh, interesting. Let's get rid of those. Forgot to get rid of those. Doesn't matter. It's set up as an SP32 S3 dev kit, the board. So the board is not SQUIXL because it's not out yet, right? It needs to go into a release of the Arduino ESP32 core, and then it needs to be added to the PIO Arduino platform. So then you could go for board SQUIXL. In here, it doesn't matter because it's all configured for you and it'll just work, right? Working on something in my spare time. Me? That's funny. That's funny, Graham. But with the Arduino stuff, it's different because the... oh, I thought it had it open. Okay, let me just open up Arduino. So you'll see here there's an SQUIXL, but that's not available yet. That's my repository where I added it, that I did the PR for, in here that I tested it from. So I have a, if you go to boards, right, I've got an SQUIXL in here. And I've got an ARM Edge 3D, which is my M.2 thing, right? They've been merged, but not released yet. So you won't have that. So I need to put in a screenshot of what you need to do to set up if you're going to use the Arduino examples. I should actually do that right now. I'm going to change the board. So what you need to do for now is set it to be an S3 dev module. And it needs to be set like this. So CDC on boot, yes. Flash 16, but this is already set because I just had it set, right? The key things are it's got to be, the PSRAM has to be on and it has to be OPI SRAM. So I'm going to, let's put that back up, take a screenshot of this. Let me just move that behind it so I can take a nicer screenshot. Okay, I need to put that screenshot in the GitHub repo so people know what they have to set their Arduino project to just for now for it to work. If you don't, it'll just crash and boot loop. Cable tie. Hello. Speaking of which, can't stay. How are you, Peter? I hope you're well. Haven't spoken to you in age. I was thinking about you the other day. I wanted to see if you were going to go to Electronex. I wanted to catch up with you. I'll chat with you offline. But I hope you're well. Wow. Lots of people popping in. So yeah, that's required for the Arduino stuff until they do a new release, which I don't know what their schedule is. They haven't done one in a while, actually. So there might be a new one coming soon. But their latest one, the 3.2, I'm currently running Arduino Core. Yeah, this is another thing that's going to bite people. I have to work out how to fix it. I'm running 3.13. 3.2, which is their current latest, the audio library I use doesn't compile. And there's no fix for it yet. So that's another problem. So when the new one comes out, whatever it's going to be, I think it's 3.3 they're going for, that has SQUIXL, it might break the audio stuff, and I won't know until it gets released. Right now it's in an alpha, and there's no point checking it with an alpha. Catch you later, Half Greek Geek. Thanks for joining. Have a good sleep. So yeah, there's going to be a few teething problems with Arduino, but all of the Arduino projects will work in Platform IO for those that, can do that. Can and want to do that. Wow, okay. I should put together a to-do list for myself of what I need to do. So many things. I'm all over the place. So many things, including drinking my cold coffee. I made a small one so I could drink it before it went cold, and it ended up going cold. Yeah. Wow. So what type of demos do people want to see? Like example projects. Don't you have a mini hot plate? I do. What's that got to do with anything? What? Catch you later, Dave. Oh, for the coffee. That's really funny. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. Have a good sleep. What examples? Like, so the things that I where's my to-do list? I do have a to-do list. Where have I put it? Interesting. It's not opening. Application not responding. Great. Let's try that again. Okay. Where's my to-do list gone? Really? Application not responding, so I quit it, reopened it, and my to-do list is gone. That is awesome. Wow. Okay, not impressed. Yay, Apple. You are just so good sometimes. Not. Okay, I'm going to start my to-do list again. I'm not going to do it in that. Let's, okay. Let's just, we're going to do one in here. Okay. To-do list, go away. Okay, so examples to add. Make that bigger for everyone to see. Well, that's too big. I've got to remember what was on here. So, I need a deep sleep example on how to put it to sleep and then wake it by touching the screen, which obviously is in the official firmware. But need an example for that. Micro Python also needs deep sleep example. It needs a I2S audio. I need to add the IO mux control, and then it needs I2S audio and SD card examples. So on how to switch them. Why do I use Android and not Apple? Well, what happened to Adam and Eve when they played with apples? Very funny. Quindor, hello Quindor. Totally missing the stream. You missed the launch. That's okay. What other basic web example? I guess I need that on both. What do I need? What type of examples do people want? You're too late, Johnny. I think Day is long gone already. He's already asleep. No takers on examples? Okay, let's go to official firmware. Need to get new on-screen Wi-Fi manager going. I need to get over-the-air updates going. So there is actually I've got all the base for that in there. There. So here, you've got OTA updates on and off. So you can turn that on and it publishes itself as SQUIXL.local that you can like flash it via OTA, but it's not in the loop right now. So it enables it, disables it, but it's not in the runtime loop yet. And yeah, so there's things still to do. Tic-tac-toe, piano. But are they examples? Like, I mean, piano would be, the example of piano would be to show you how to do touch and sound, right? I've already got a demo for touch and sound. So doing an alternate, so what I'm trying to use the examples for is to show you how to use functionality of SQUiXL in isolated chunks, right? Yeah, that won't be me, Alan. Johnny's volunteering to do that, aren't you, Johnny? Yeah, I don't use HA. I've looked. I set up HA, and I can't even work out how to use it. Like I whatever. So, um, Johnny. So yeah, I'm trying to use the examples because the official firmware has all the stuff in it, but it's not easy to follow. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's becoming quite a large code base. So I want to offer little chunks of people. Right, RTC clock. Yes, okay, thank you. So RTC clock use, fuel gauge, use. Both of those need to be set up. So this I need to add RTC. There's already fuel gauge support in MicroPython. I've already added that. RTC library. No worries, Dave. Thanks, mate. Have a good sleep. Widget or full screen? What? UI render controls? Yeah, no. See, that's a great example of something that can't be an example, right? Because there's to do that in an example, it needs the whole UI framework, which doesn't become an example. Does that make sense, Miss England? Like that can't be a basic Arduino example. So I mean that's a complicated thing. Like so the examples already show how to draw stuff to the screen, right? When it comes to all the different things you can draw to the screen, well, that's endless examples. Like maybe over time I'll add more, but I don't want to be trying to build an ecosystem in Arduino specifically. Like it's just not the right environment to have a complex project structure. Like I've tried. I had a version of the official firmware that you could load in both Arduino and Platform IO. I've scrapped that idea because it actually doesn't work so well. I have to give an example. I've left this one in here because I am using audio in both, but I had to do stuff like this. I mean, stupid stuff like this for audio. If the project doesn't include audio, then I need to have a way of detecting it. And then in Platform IO, it lives like this, but it can't do that in Arduino. And in Arduino, it lives like this, but I don't want to have all the code in one flat thing in Platform IO, right?
Alan Madsen says touch examples.
Well, there already is. That's the point. Right? Think, folks. Sorry. Like, I've already got examples. All of the examples are touch. So I've got the audio one where you touch the screen. It gives you the position of the screen. It draws a line to there, and it plays a sound based on where you touched, right? The stars one shows you touch interaction. The slideshow one, when you touch the screen, it goes to the next photo, right? Like I can't show every example of every use for touch ever invented because that's just, people are going to have to use their imagination. I give them the basics. Like, You know what I mean? So I'm not talking about demos like painting. Again, it's the same thing. You know, dragging your finger and drawing something.
HMS says you have touch up DN and debounce.
Touch up and down and debounce. No, because it's not a button. Right. My official firmware has touch up, touch down, dragging, swiping, all those things. But I don't think, again, that's something I can do. I'm talking about examples on how to use specific features of SQUiXL in Arduino, right? All that functionality is there in the official firmware, but it's complicated. Like it's a I should have cleaned all this up first. Like this is the touch processing, right? It needs to understand about the keyboard, if it's open or not, right? And then if it's not open, it's got to track starting touch position. It's got to be able to find the item that you touched, if there is one, to select it, right? And then if it's draggable, start sending it drag messages, right? It's got to be able to work out the deltas and then send that you're actually dragging, so not just a start drag, but actual drag, right? Tracking long presses. It tracks. I actually removed. Oh, did I remove double press? No, double press is still there. Double press is there. Swipe up, swipe down. If it's a non-draggable item, and then after all of this, it goes through and does a touch. If it wasn't all the other ones, right? That's not a basic example. That's not a basic example that you can put inside Arduino, because it's totally dependent on the context of what it's being used for, right? Having the screen where you can touch it, double touch it, and drag it, great. But if that's not interacting with something, then it's a pointless thing, right? Like converting that to actually interact with something is two totally different bits of code. So that's where my head's at. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I can come up with something else. Haptic example. Yep. Okay. Where to go? I've already got haptics in the example in MicroPython, but maybe I'll do something more specific. And in here as well. Yeah. It's be much easier if there was no Arduino. Okay. A fuel gauge battery percent graphic. Well, that's not a demo. I've got that in my official firmware, right? That's again, like that's not. Yeah. Yeah. At some point, people are going to have to write their own firmware, right? They're going to have to go, well, I've got a percentage, like me doing a fuel gauge graphic in an isolated project helps people how? How do they move that into their own project? How do they take this example, this example, this example, this example, and join them all together, right? That's not what the examples are for. So, like at some point, someone's going to have to work out how to do their own, put their own graphics in. I don't know. I worry that if I have to go that low level, not low level, if I have to go that teaching people how to do things like that, they're not the right. Like I'm doing that for a marketplace that aren't buying a SQUiXL. Does that make sense? Like if someone in an isolated project, if they need me to show them how to do a how to load in a graphic to do a battery gauge. I don't know if that's, am I wrong? Like, is that just the wrong level of? Hey, Peter. Well, yeah, I want to show people how to leverage the peripherals inside the device, right? With really basic examples of how to do that. Like with the full of stars version, with the touch, right? I'm not even using the X and Y coordinate. I'm just saying, has it been touched, right? Like this will return the X and the Y of where I touched, but I don't care. I just want to know, was it touched so I can adjust the speed, yeah? With the photo viewer, in the loop here, I am processing the touch just to show people where I touched, right? And I'm limiting how often you can touch so you don't swap the image, every 25 milliseconds. But all it does is swaps the image, but I print where you touched, right? Now, in the audio example with touch, I'm drawing a line from the last touch position to there. I'm drawing a circle. I'm updating the screen. I'm playing a tone, right? Also printing out what the position is. So between those three examples, that's everything you need to know about touch, other than implementing something like touch down, touch up. Well, debounce isn't really a thing. Swiping, dragging, well, they're way complex things. Can you show quickly the examples? I haven't seen them. I can't show quickly because they're all, they have to compile. I can, Arduino's, I'll do it now. I'll flash some. Well, this is the full of stars one. Already got that one here. I showed that before, but full of stars is just like a moving star field. And if you touch it, it goes into hyperspace. Right? Doesn't care where you touch. So like with if I've got an SD card in that one, I do. Right. So let me just go back to here. Let me load the SD card project. If I double click that. Okay, I'll just flash this. It'll just take a while to compile because this Arduino phases at full power. Maybe once I've got all the basic demos and examples, I'll have the opportunity to make some more complex ones. But for now, it's I've got this much time, a lot of things to cover. It's all about getting some basic. Oh, you're still in the cache. Nice. I'm not sure if many of you are aware, it's still not fast, but the latest Arduino update, 2.3.6, improved their caching. So the first compile is still slow, but subsequent compiles are much faster, much faster. Not platform IO speed, but much faster. You saw then how fast that was. So this is every 15 seconds, this is going to switch image. So it's just an example of how to do like a photo frame, right? If you touch it, it'll switch straight away. So these are just 4 images off the internet that are just cycling. I don't include the images in the example. Copyright reasons, you just need to grab your own images. It doesn't matter what they're called, it just shows you here, tells you here, requires a FAT formatted SD card to be inserted. that contains some JPEG images named either with a .jpeg or a .jpeg. Oh, can everyone read that? Right? And so it basically goes through, scans the SD card, and looks for things that are a JPEG file. I mean, if you put a file on there and call it .jpeg and it's not a JPEG, it'll fail to decode it, right? And it does print out a list of here. So it shows you switch to the MUX, SD card by the MUX, loads up, tells you what size it is, added those files, and then when I touch the screen, it prints where I touched. FAT32? No, I mean FAT. Whichever FAT you want, depending on the file thing. FAT32, FAT16. Can't do FAT8, I don't think. Yeah, just a FAT formatted SD card. I'm not specifying. Right, so that's that example, which works well. And by the way, if I take this out, so that'll now fail, like loading the next one, or just sit on that image forever. If you boot it and there's no SD card, it does that, right? So it also shows in this example that when it goes to switch, this is how you switch, right? The MUX. And if it fails, it shows you how to show an error. Okay, that show error is built into SQUIXL, right? And you can pass it a fade. So I'm telling it to fade. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it'll fade up from black. See that? It does a fade for you, but you can also pass it false and it'll just bang, it's there, right? What if I have a 32 gig SD card with 2 million files? I don't know, it'll probably break. It's a basic example. It's not a product level bit of source code, right? So let's put that back in. How about if I put it in the SD card slot and not the... Did I just put that? Sorry, couldn't see what I was doing. Right. Anyway, that won't recover. You got to restart it, reboot it. Okay, let's go to the other example. So that's the photo viewer. Audio. Oh, that's... SQUIXL. I'm just setting SQUIXL because I can for now, because I don't want to change all the settings. So this example, I'll compile it, and while we're waiting for it to compile, this shows you other stuff. Shows you how to switch it to the audio amplifier, right? It creates a sprite for the screen that it draws to. It prints some text on the screen, right? Shows you how to do that. And then obviously draws all those things on the screen. So that shows you some basic drawing and stuff. It's got audio, so play hello. It's playing a WAV file, right? It's not grabbing it from the internet. This is a pre-compiled thing that you can't see here, but it's in the source. If you look inside the source, it's going to be confusing for people. Oh, wonder where it got that touch from. I remembered the touch when I was grabbing it on the side. Really? Anyway, it says hello. Some of the tones for the beeps, it doesn't like, and it just does a tick. Right? But anyway, this shows you basic screen interaction, right? Some text, some sound. So, you know, there's a lot to learn from each of the examples. The examples themselves are just really basic, but, you know, it's about, you know, and all of the core functionality for SQUiXL is not in the light library, it's in the main library. So I had to split the libraries. So it's one library inside Platform IO. The main library inherits off the light library, right? Because, anyway, it's complicated. The point is, these are all good starting points, I think. I hope they're good starting points. Sorry, I'm waffling now. I don't know to what level I need to take these examples, and I guess I'll find out when people start asking for help. So then, of course, we've got the MicroPython examples. That means I have to flash MicroPython. I want to do that right now. The MicroPython examples need more work. There's some UI examples, and there's just some, as I said, there's some touch, some haptics, some battery. There's a little VGL example. Which I got to say, I'm not a fan of little VGL in terms of the. So in Platform IO, there's SQUiXL little VGL. Go away. I don't want to update. So if I flash this, oh, I need to get rid of the serial monitor. All of those warnings going past, they're all little VGL things. It's all because it can't find the little VGL.conf. Because I'm not using a config. Oh, wait. This should, oh, right. So the way little VGL works, you need to put a config file next to the library file. But the library file isn't there until you compile it for the first time. I wonder if this will even work. I'm not a little VGL user, so what I've got going here is looks like a bunch of messy code. Functional, but it's I might have done it completely wrong. I don't know. Reflections are terrible. It's got that screen protector on it, which doesn't help. And it looks dirty, but again, it's the protector. I hope this works. I don't know if it'll work with all those warnings that came past. Well, it did. So that's got haptics. It went So it's got haptics in there. It shows how to show an image. SQUiXL is an image. It's got buttons with text changing and audio, slider value, and it shows the battery percentage at the bottom, right? It's a really basic little VGL demo. But slider, buttons, images, haptics, audio, battery. It's a good starting point, right? For those that know how to use little VGL, they might look at this project and go, oh, that's a mess. That's not how you're supposed to do it. That's fine. They might look at it and go, okay, yeah, I can work with this. Either way, it shows how to use little VGL on SQUiXL. Yeah. No, it's not a piano. The code is terrible. Main little VGL.cpp. Why is that? Go down. I mean, you look at all this stuff. It's I mean, that's the main loop. It's pretty basic. A timer handler. That's the battery update. Every 10 seconds it updates the battery. That's the audio loop. This is all the magic of little VGL with a timer, but this is the setting up all of the little VGL controls. And I look at all of this and I don't understand how any of this is any easier, better, nicer than the UI framework I came up with. I know that mine visually is much nicer as a default, but I've seen some really nice things done in little VGL, but I find I can't wrap my head around how you'd reproduce those on a code level. Yeah, that ain't ever going to happen. Hey, Monster Mark. Waiting for your PR, AJ. Waiting for the PR. But yeah, this has got Cap Touch set up and everything else. This is everything you need to get going with little VGL. Yeah. So I'm not going to be doing any more with little VGL, I don't think, unless I can. Yeah. Like I looked at what was that? The GUI thing for it that is no longer part of little VGL anymore. It's now been the two parties aren't talking to each other anymore. I kind of looked at that. Was it Studio Line something? I think it's called. Too expensive. Like I'm not going to invest time in working out the flow to get that onto SQUiXL when it's a paid product that is moving away from little VGL. Like doesn't even support the latest version of little VGL, and I doubt people are going to be like, if people are using it and they come to me and say, hey, we need to integrate that into this, then I might look at doing that, but I'm not going to spend all that time and effort and pay for that tool to do that when no one might use it, right? So, and of course, I'd love to make some games. I would love to make some games for it, and I might once I've got everything else going. That dungeon game I started on RGB Touch, I would love to one day get back to that, but be cool to do it on here. Having them communicate with other ones, you know, and I'd love for a way that SQUiXL can connect to a server somewhere where, I mean, that's easy, but that's not, I'm not talking about that. But I would love a way that people could somehow securely connect SQUiXLs together, like send out a request to have two SQUiXLs be able to communicate with each other, right? Via the internet, via some type of hosted relay, right? Hosted by me in an anonymous way that they can then send data back to each other or something. Like that'd be cool, right? Yeah. And then of course, so there's all the MQTT stuff that's in there. Like I've removed all of those widget things that I was doing. I haven't got around to putting all those back in again. SQUiXL or SQUiXLnet, yeah. I mean that could be cool. That could be fun. But yeah, there's the MQTT stuff I need to get in, get the UI connect. There's a lot of work. Oh, I'm making myself stressed. There's so much work. So much work of things to do, but too late, you all bought them. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. Oh my god, how funny is that? Ah. Hey Steve, you could call the process of sending a message from one to another squirting. Oh, I'm not sure that's a good idea. Squ squ hmm. SQUIXting. Let's not call it a squirtle, but yeah, I mean that's funny. That's very funny. I don't know. Um, and then AJ's fault. AJ's fault. He asked me the other day. I don't think this is possible, but I don't know yet. He asked me the other day. So with an ESP32S3, you can set it up as a HID device that can connect to your computer. So it can be like you can make it like a tablet. You can make it like a mouse, simulate a mouse. You can simulate a keyboard. But that's where the computer is the host and the S3 is the device that pairs, like, that talks to it. You can do that via BLE, you can do it via USB. But he asked the question, can you pair a BLE device to the SQUiXL, where the SQUiXL is the host and the device can send to the SQUiXL? Hey, send me a squirt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I haven't even opened this yet. So I don't know the answer. So I bought a BLE keyboard. I have not opened it. I really don't want to get sidetracked on this, but I'd love to know, because could you imagine if this is also, I think this is supposed to be RGB. Anyway, if on. Ooh. RGB keyboard. Yeah. Because he doesn't need bling. So I'm curious to know whether this can be paired with the SQUiXL, so you have a keyboard. Instead of using the on-screen keyboard, you could have a full-size keyboard that you communicate with, the SQUiXL. That would be cool, because you could then, for messages or for setup or whatever else. Yeah. Don't forget there's also low energy, but with RGB LEDs. No, the communication is low energy. But yes, that's very funny, Matt. Don't forget on the SQUiXL product page, I also show that there is the official firmware also has, I didn't make it clickable, has a web server built in. So if you are online, if you do connect it to the internet, it'll automatically start a web server that you can modify settings, and this can be extended as well. So I've got a lot of stuff in there already, but it's all got to be expanded. But like, again, you can do things via a web browser on your computer directly on SQUiXL through the web interface. But it would be nice to be able to use a keyboard. I don't know about the whole using a mouse thing, pair a mouse to it so you can move a cursor on the screen. You got touch, but I think this would be cool if we can work out how to do it. But I have to look into it. So thanks, AJ, for wasting my money. Not wasting, for me getting me to spend my money on that. That would be a really cool thing if I can get that going. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. 2 hours. How about find my SQUiXL? I'm not sure how would we do that. I mean, we could do it via the web. We could do that. We could, but it has to be awake and serving the web page, right? So it can't be asleep. But if it was awake, you could click a button on the web page, which could make the SQUiXL play a sound to find it. But that's not quite the same. Like, that's not. Chances are, if it's not connected to power, if it's connected to power, it'll be in a dock or it'll be in a you know, just with that, and you'll know where it is. But if it's not connected to power, it'll be asleep after a certain period of time. So then, yeah, shouldn't you be busy sending the SQUiXLs out? I need to. My concern right now is that the number of pre-orders is more. I don't know how many pre-orders. I need to check the pre-order list. I'm concerned about having too many pre-orders and not being able to ship them if I get more than the number of screens. But I've got one. Okay, I'm fine at the moment. Okay, I'm fine at the moment. I'll have to keep monitoring that during the day. Wow, how many docking stations? Heard you can't feed them. The SQUiXLs? Can't feed SQUiXLs after midnight? What? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that's all my docking stations gone. I've got more. Hey, Ryan. I've got more docking. Like I've got. In terms of packaging, I've only got 10 boxes made, but I got more foam delivered yesterday. So I need a laser cut today, more foam for more boxes. I have plenty of empty boxes, but there's actually 4 layers of foam. So every box that has a dock and a SQUiXL in it has 4 layers of 10mm foam, each individually cut in a different shape. How is that? Is that like insanity or what? Hey, Brad. Missed the bus. Well, no, you can now pre-order. Like I only released a certain number and then, but I've got plenty. Like yeah, at the moment it's fine. Pre-order just means it'll be shipping in probably by the end of the week, or at worst Monday. It depends on, again, what color cases people have ordered, because they're going to be, as I said, printed on demand. I printed a few, but I don't have enough. Like right now, I'm short a bunch of black cases, so you get the foam free with the SQUiXL purchase. Yeah, it's like $8 of foam in every box.
Geek says greetings, mortals.
Hey, Quixotic Geek, $8 of foam plus probably almost 40 minutes of laser cutting, and $8 of foam in every box. In every box.
Geek says, what is a SQUiXL?
What is a SQUiXL? What is this? That's funny. Sorry, I'm not laughing at what you asked. I'm laughing at the way it said it. Like, what is a SQUiXL? I'm sorry. When SQUiXL boots, it comes up saying SQUiXL. Put the other firmware on, whatever, and it goes bzz, 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 and I originally wanted it to say SQUiXL, and I tried 100 different ways of getting a voice to say the word SQUiXL nicely, and I couldn't. And they all sounded so bad. I need to find, I need to get my daughter or someone to do it so I can record it. What is a SQUiXL? This is a SQUiXL. This.
Cian, Chad has disconnected.
Yeah, okay, reconnect. Good, thank you. That's a SQUiXL. SQUiXL is a thing I made. Oh, have like 10 different people saying it, and you get random one on boot up. Yeah, you buy a box with foam and you get a free SQUiXL inside it. It's yeah. So one of the things that I tried to get working, I haven't been able to get working yet. It's quite disappointing, and it's Espressive's fault. We understand why they did it, but I wanted to get streaming internet going. I wanted to make a widget with streaming internet so you could put in a web page in the web server a list of you know stations you like, and you can play, you can listen to the audio, and you can touch the widget to change the station and stuff. But streaming audio off the net is pretty much butchered now in the Arduino core for ESP32, because what they did some quite a few versions ago is they reduced the size of um, the buffers, the internet, like the buffers they were using for HTTP, because they were chewing up a lot of memory. They wanted to give more of the SRAM back to people and have it less fragmented, and so they reduced their size. And since they did that, there's not enough bandwidth to bring the data through for internet streaming. It's affected everyone's libraries and everyone's projects, and unfortunately, it's something that isn't exposed at the Arduino level that you can change. It's a fixed setting on the IDF side that's pre-compiled in to the Arduino core, so it's non-changeable, and it's really frustrating. And my plan is to have a discussion, a Xeon discussion with them, which is a fight, right? About putting it back or finding a way to expose it so we can increase the buffer size so we can do things like streaming audio again. It's really frustrating that, we can't do it. Because that would be a really nice. So if we could do it, I could add the ability like I used to have on Bling, where instead of saying play WAV hello and there's actually a stored WAV file in a header format of that speech, it could go to the internet and then play hello. Like you could make it and stream it back like I used to have working with Bling, but that doesn't work very well now if the sound is too long, because it gets a bit, then it stutters, and then it stops, and it won't bring it through. Maybe you need a marketer. It's a thing I made. Doesn't say a lot. What? Is there thinking that you just call it? No, it's you can't call it more often. It's just, and you can't fill your own buffers. It's a low level thing. It's part of the whole streaming thing. Like the yeah, it's code, but it's pre-compiled. All the settings are preset. You can't change them. You can on the IDF if you do it in the IDF. But if you're using the Arduino framework, so in Platform IO, Arduino IDE, and it's using the Arduino ESP32 core, whatever version, it's pre-compiled,
Geek
and so you
says, what
can't change
wonders
it.
could I do with a SQUiXL?
I don't know. You have to tell me. I don't know. There's lots of wonders you can do with the SQUiXL. Um, you missed me going through the Arduino and MicroPython examples that I've got, and I'll be adding more. But it's a yeah, Graham. I'm trying to understand what you mean. Maybe you need a marketer. It's a thing I made. Doesn't say a lot. Where did I write? It's a thing I made. Is that to me? Did I write that somewhere? No, I don't understand. I don't know if that was reference to me. And if Paul's reference, "You're a genius," was to me, I'm not a genius. Will you autograph mine? I'm just reading back in the chat. I missed some stuff. Yeah, I'm shipping to the US. What do you mean in weird dollars? What weird dollars? Huh? It's US dollars. Yeah, it's in US dollars. Everything I sell is in US dollars. And yeah, I ship everywhere. Oh, that was an answer to what is a SQUiXL. Right, I missed it. Sorry. I think it was a timing thing. SQUiXL is a thing I made. SQUiXL is a portable touch screen development platform. I don't know. How do tariffs work on this? Who knows this week? Chinese tariffs are on, Chinese tariffs are off, blah, blah, blah. Tariffs from goods from Australia is supposed to be 10%. It only got activated a week ago because there was that 90-day reprieve, and I don't even know if it's still activated because it keeps changing. So there could be a 10% tariff. There might not be. I don't know. That's something that happens once it gets into the country. And, you'd either be contacted by customs or not, saying that you owe us money or you don't. I think it's from customs, not from the shipping company. Does this count as Aussie, or is it? No, it's Aussie. It's where the device is assembled, or where it's manufactured and assembled. This is completely an Australian product. Yeah, no, there's no Chinese. This is yeah. Assembled, like the country of origin is Australia on this. Well, that's how I get marked. I can't tell you what customs will do. I've heard that US customs have the ability to look at a product and decide if they think that it should be charged under a different category, different country, other than the originating country. Apparently they have that ability, that right. I don't know what that's going to do, what it's going to mean. I did see that bill. I've been watching their tariff videos, but, a day after they posted that, China has made a deal with America, and it looks like the tariffs are going away back to what they were, 10 to 40%. So it's all changed again. Right? Remember, like him, don't like him, whatever. Trump's purpose with his tariffs was to make the other countries play nice, not to make a permanent thing that affects all the US citizens. They suffer little short term, but it was to get China to play ball. So far, it's worked for the UK. There's been a complete trade agreement done with the UK. And now it's worked with China. China have reduced their tariffs on US goods from 115% to 0 for a lot of stuff, right? UK got shafted. Depends which way you look at it. I don't know. In the past, UK was shafting the US. So, I don't know. I'm not sure everyone knows the full terms of all the trade agreement, but anyway, I don't know. So to answer your question is, I don't know what's going to happen when it hits customs. Your guess is as good as mine. And to add complications to that, as I mentioned before, I'm shipping these with a battery. For the first time, I'm shipping batteries in my products, which I'm now allowed to do, but I have never done it before, and I don't know what extra complications that might add to the process. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting times. You have to put the funky... I don't think I have to put funky stickers on. I just have to declare it. Because it's under a certain thing. But I don't know. I've spoken to Australia Post. They tell me all I have to do is fill the paperwork in correctly. But there might be something I need to stick on it. I don't know. But I've not. I'll find out when I go to do my first shipment. And the first shipment might get delayed a day or two as I work all this out. I don't know. It's going to be tricky. There's a lot of firsts on this. Complicated. Yeah. Okay, I think I don't want to start coding stickers because it got a lithium battery inside. Where are you seeing this? I don't think. Um, hmm. Okay, I'm just looking at some documentation now. Um, International domestic air female limited to 2 batteries or 4 cells. Um, must be packed so that it can't actually turn on. Battery must be protected against short circuiting. Batteries not installed in equipment must be securely. Internal packaging must provide a strong level of protection. Right, it doesn't say anything about the. No, it's installed. I'm not allowed to ship it separately. It has to be installed. So I can do lithium ion rechargeable battery up to 100 watt hours. What do you mean the workaround? As in that doesn't require a label? So this is the guidance they gave me. They sent me this piece of paper. I don't know where it is. But the way it works now is if it's limited to 2 batteries or 4 cells, but for things like cameras, mobile phones, iPads, laptops, electric shaver, whatever, small items installed in equipment, air and surface, domestic road. International domestic mail, all air and international sea mail, limited to 2 batteries or 4 cells. Right, and then it says check international guide for individual country restrictions. There might be some country restrictions. I don't know, but if there is, it's going to be Europe, right? It doesn't say anything on here about requiring any type of labels. Use original packaging, must be packed so it can't accidentally turn on, must be protected against short circuiting, batteries not installed in equipment must be securely packaged in inner packaging. Yeah, but I can't do that for international. External packaging must provide strong level of protection against breakage or impact as it goes through the mail network. Cardboard box and greater than 20 millimeters thick. Well, I have a cardboard box. How thick is that? Oh, it's definitely more than 20 because the foam is 10. And yeah, I've got it's all EVA foam. I guess it could get crushed, but so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. That's all I can say. It might go smoothly, it might not. Um, they don't have a link to international country restrictions. That sucks. So I don't know where I'm going to find those. Okay, I need to get going. I need to start collating. I'm going to have to keep a spreadsheet on what cases I need. And I need to start printing cases. And hope I don't run out of filament. I need to... Thanks, Stephen. I don't really know what I was expecting when I say it's less a launch and more of a just making them available. Like I feel like I'm still nowhere near where I need to be in terms of software support. I don't have any type of production line set up for them because the numbers are too small, and um, Yeah. And I don't even know what people are going to order in terms of color or with a dock, without a dock. So I guess I'll know over time. But it's out now. It's now I don't have to speculate. Now I'll know. Thank you all that bought one. I appreciate it, and they will they will all ship out to you this week. Some maybe today, some tomorrow. It'll be a bit at a time. I'll go through an order of the orders coming through, and for anyone like for units that I don't have in stock yet, they'll be still might ship by the end of this week or early next week. Will it run Doom? Someone got Doom running on an ESP32, didn't they?
HMS says
So
what
possibly.
they not shipped already flipped desk.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's something I need to check. I bet you that. Where's Christopher's? Let me go into here. Yeah, so it's not calculating the shipping correctly. Awesome. So that's a big stuff up. Great. Well, uh-oh. Yeah,
HMS says again neutral face. Didn't it do that with the RGB touch?
it did, and it was supposed to have been fixed. And I can see here on your order, 2 items, 250 grams each, and it's only charged for 250 grams. Great. So, well, nothing I can do about it now, but oh, damn. Because a few people ordered 2, so I'm going to lose a chunk of money on each one of those. Yeah, no, not less foam. I need the foam to protect the devices and the batteries and stop them turning on. Anyway, whatever. Okay, it is what it is. I don't know how I'm gonna solve it. It requires the SQUiXL people to fix again somehow. Yeah, it makes me sad too because I deliberately set all of my sizes and weights correctly. And I don't understand why it's done this again. Um,
HMS says, add a store item for extra shipping with no item.
it doesn't work that way. So I can't. So what it's done is it's charged for the. I know you can't see what I'm looking at. Sorry, it's my e-commerce stuff. It's charged for the next shipping rate, but not hasn't calculated it correctly. So it's not charging for 500 grams. Um, wow. Oh well. Yeah, it should be switching over at 5. I just made it 0.49 instead of 0.5. I mean, 0.25 and 0.25 is 0.5, right? And it says 0.5 and up is this price, but it did the previous price. So maybe they've got a problem with a less than or equals to. So I've made it to 0.49, and anything above 0.49 will go to the next one. Oh well. Oh well. Lucky. Whatever. Is what it is. Nothing runs smooth when it comes to Sion. Ever. Doesn't matter. All good. Everyone, I'm going. Thank you. Thank you all for those support. Thanks for everyone for joining. And I'm sorry about all the GitHub stuff at the start. The Git stuff. I apologize. But, you know, again, it's me. Nothing goes smooth. And there's always on-stream issues. At least I wasn't coding this time. Have a great week, everyone. And I look forward to you all receiving your SQUIXLs. Yep. How weird is that? Okay. Catch you later, everyone. Take care.